Okay, so today is October 10th of 2024. Yesterday, as opposed to the previous day, I was able to um, understand where price was headed, and I was able to catch a small win. Made back yesterday's loss. I mean, the previous day's loss, as well as a bit of change out for yesterday. So right after morning, I had expected price. Let's see here. Okay, so right off the morning, I had expected price to draw higher. After I noticed the 15-minute sweep below after the high was swept, and so I had expected a reversal. I did not expect, however, for price to just continue going higher like this. Um, and so after price did that, what I had expected was I wanted to see price continue higher. It did sweep the weekly objective that I had set for myself, and this would be another weekly objective. But after it took this low, I had not expected for price to continue drawing higher. We did have FOMC minutes at 1400, so that's why in the morning I was not as, I guess you can say, I was not as set with the model that I had analyzed. And again, these were the weekly objectives for me. Actually, it was only this one, but this one is even a cherry on top. But anyways, after price, which one? This one's 1400. This is 1400. Okay. All right. So again, I did not expect for price to hit all-time highs, but I did expect for price to draw into previous week high, and it did on both sides. And now ES is at all-time highs, whereas NQ is not. NQ is still below this weekly gap, which is still from going from imbalance to imbalance, right? And so going into the morning session, like I said, I had expected price to draw higher, but I did not expect for price to set a trend early into the day, because what I figured was I wanted to see price maybe consolidate going into the 1400 FOMC minutes release. But obviously we did not get that. And right after the morning session, I had noticed a pretty nice setup, which was right here, right? So going into the 9:30 open, saw price sweep the highs, and then came down here to sweep the lows. I actually was long down here, and I probably should have kept on to it. But again, what I expected is I wanted to see maybe consolidation, and then going to FOMC, we get the expansion higher. But obviously that didn't happen, so I called it quits early, and obviously I missed this move. And so because of that, I had expected price to retrace into 50% of the range, which was from this low right here to this high. And he retraced 50%, as always, into this area here, held at a 15-minute order block, going into the FOMC minutes release. But obviously I did not catch this low. What I did catch was right here. This was the area of attention for me right here. Okay, so going into lunch, swept buy side here, then swept sell side. After price swept sell side, I started to look for an entry here. This right here, no, actually this right here is the 1400 FOMC release. Same thing right here, FOMC release. Here is an inverse that I was looking for price to draw towards to violate, and it did right here. And after price did that, I knew this low was protected. Actually, it was on ES. Right here. And so I wanted to see price close above this inverse here. It did here. And a lot of people got long here. But what I wanted to see is I actually wanted to see a sweep of these lows. right? Because this right here is the FOMC release. So the low of FOMC release. Price swept that low, jumped in right here, covered into this high here and this high here. So about a 7-8 point move, but I'll take that any time of the day. And I actually wanted to catch another long here after price retraced into 50% of this range. But by this time I was kind of skeptical about it, although I did know because we were already at all-time high. So if price were to continue drawing to a new all-time high, I wasn't so sure of that. So I did not take this trade, but I followed it still. So pretty good day. Again, nothing to write home about, but nevertheless, the fact that I was able to get back in line, get back in sync with the directional bias, I'm happy about that. So what am I expecting for today? Today, I'm expecting for continuation to the upside, not necessarily to the all-time highs, but maybe to some sort of move. There is SMT at the highs where ES took the high and NQ did not between this high and this high. But I do believe that since we are trading from imbalance here, that we are going to close above imbalance here. So that's what I would like. So today my bias is to trade towards the highs. The only way that I would not trade towards the only reason, let me rephrase that. Why am I looking towards the highs? Because we just retraced to 50% of the range, right? ES did not, NQ did. There is no SMT at the lows just yet. But I will be looking for some sort of SMT on the 15-minute. So far, price is respecting this gap here. Actually, it's this whole gap from here to here. But this is 50% of the range between this low and this high here. So I am expecting for price to do this. What I want to see though is I'm not necessarily just going to take the long down here. I want to see this right here, this tiny little area here is 50% of the range. So what I want to see is I want to see price gravitate towards that and see what happens after that. If we get a rejection or displacement lower, then I might be looking to target these lows down here. Because again, I wrote this down yesterday. So price has already taken two sides of price has already taken sell side right here. As you can see on the hourly, it's closed above it. It traded into this. It didn't even touch consequent encroachment, so that's a bullish sign. This one did, but it still closed above this previous sell side liquidity. It did sweep buy side liquidity right here. It swept buy side liquidity. So that is a signature on price where I expect price to draw higher after it swell, because the thing is you want to see both participants get swept out of their liquidity, and ES got swept at the highs and now the lows. So naturally you would expect price to either target midpoint or go from external down to internal again, external down to internal again, and see what happens after that. So I would like to see price maybe come down, sweep one more low, and then draw higher. This new week opening gap, actually, I'm not even gonna mess with this one. It's non-eventful to me. Let's see here. Okay, so again, it closed above this high here, above this low here. So that's a bullish sign, bullish signature in price. Again, we took a buy side, now we took a sell side. So naturally, it's gonna either go back into 50% of the range, or it's gonna come and attack these highs. So that is my current objective, to see what price does up here. Let's take a look at the 15-minute. We are drawing this candle right here. When you are on a clear trend, or on a clear downtrend, or on a clear uptrend, I always say that if prices continue lower, I want price to sweep through this low, displace through this low, and then later on, I want price to come back and test this area to see if maybe you get continuation. If price comes down, sweeps this low, and then you get a buy setup, then I'm going to be watching this area carefully to see what it does. What I want to see is I want to see this area. If we're bullish, I want to see this order block get violated, and then this order block is used as an area of support later on into the day. So I'm watching this area carefully to see what it does afterwards. Okay. Again, I want to see what price does here. Okay. I want to see what price does here. It's already held this one little order block, but that doesn't really tell me anything. I want to see what price does here and what price does here. Still, I have no, where is this? This one, this one. Okay, right. So yeah, no SMT as of yet. I still want to see what it does. I wouldn't necessarily get long or short anywhere around here because again, I don't see anything on the 15-minute. Nothing on the 15-minute. Actually, I did re-add the 30-minute. I don't necessarily like using the 30-minute in unless I am unable to come up with an actual clear analysis on that. So yeah, nothing. Let's take a look at the 5-minute. Okay, so we do have a swing high here and a swing high here on the 5-minute. See the 1-minute. Oh crap. Okay, so I do have a plan. What I want to see is since both the hourly closed above here, to me again that's a bullish sign. So I am leaning towards a bullish move today. I would expect for price to come visit this 50% of the range. I don't want it to happen now. I want that to happen later on. Um, right, I want that to happen later on. So what I would like to see is we already swept the high. So what I want to see is maybe come down and sweep the low, and then we draw higher. With that, it would be great if one of the pairs did not sweep the low, and that would give me SMT a reason to start looking for an entry long, and then cover 50% at these 50% of the range, and then see if price continues drawing higher. If price comes up to 50% of the range without sweeping any of these lows, then no entry for me. As you can see, this is the first order block that I've been watching to see how price is reacting. So far, it's rejecting it. Right, yeah, it's rejecting it. It doesn't really tell me anything, but it was just something that I wanted to keep my eyes on to see if maybe it acts as some sort of resistance. But again, we have swing high already swept right here, and a swing low already swept. Oh, well, wait, and a swing low down here. Right there. Actually, I don't need this. Right, so okay, so again, tiny little model here, same model up here on the hourly where a high was swept, now the low is swept. So I'm looking for the same here. And again, one thing I do want to see is if we are to continue drawing higher, then I would like to see SMT at one of these lows. Let's look at YM. Well, YM is already, actually it isn't just yet. Right there. So YM hasn't retraced into 50% of the range just yet. Oh crap. Am I still recording? Yep, I am. Okay. Um, so again, as of right now, I really have no idea where price is headed. All the price action signatures are telling me right now that price will draw higher, but that doesn't mean it will. What it means is that so far it's acting as support here. And one of the things I do want to see, where I actually like to see, is price hold at 50% of the dealing range. So now I want to see how price reacts in this area here. So yeah, that's it for now. Again, if price displaces lower, if it displaces through here, then it would actually be better if this was not, if price did not even come back up here. It would be better if price just came down here, so I could get the second stage of distribution down here to sweep these lows over here. Because again, my whole bias was that once we swept these highs, I believed that we would draw lower into these lows down here, and then ultimately sweep all of these lows down here. But again, that's yet to be seen. That's yet to be proven, because right now we are holding at 50% of the range, and I do believe if price does what I expect it to, we continue to draw higher since we are at all-time highs. When you're at all-time highs, the best thing to do is to just target previous day highs. That's it. Let's take a look at, yeah. Oh, yeah, YM has already violated multiple bearish PD arrays on the 4-hour and the daily. So all three um, pairs are in sync right now. Yep, right there. And there is a unicorn on YM. Breaker right there. Yep, there is a unicorn on YM. So 3 pairs are bullish. So I want to see one of the lows get swept. Whichever one of the lows gets swept will be enough for me to start looking for a long, yeah, to target either 50% of the range and then the highs. I've seen this move before. Uh, what was the last time I saw it? I think it was back in August. Actually, I was just reviewing it yesterday. Where is it? I think it was this one. Yeah, this one right here. Displacement lower, holds, draw higher. But I want to see one where, I think it was this one. It was during a news event. Was it this one? It was one of these. It was a news event where price swept the high, came back to sweep the low, and then price drew higher. Actually, I think it was this one maybe. Could have been this one, yeah. So yeah, that's my bias for today. So we'll see. It's 50% of the range. Let's see if there's a smaller one. We have 5 minutes until the open. This is the gap that I'll be using. I would use the 15, but the 15-minute is this whole area here. I like using the gap that has 50%, whichever direction I'm looking at, which has consequent encroachment above 50%. If I was bearish, if it was a down move, if it was an up move, I would be using the one that's below here, which would be, well, this one's not necessarily a gap, but it just, for context purposes, let's use that. And again, it'd be this one right here, the one I'm paying attention to. So again, I want to see a sweep of these lows. We've already traded into 50% of this range. Well, not this one, but this one has. Right? We've already traded into 50% of the range. Consequent encroachment. We're at above extreme premium on the daily. So again, all signs are pointing towards an up move today. But again, we have to see what happens after these lows are swept down here. All right, so we have 3 minutes until the open. If we displace lower here, then I don't anticipate taking a trade because I'm not ready to take a short. If we displace lower, then I'll most likely just and then come back into 1100 macro to see what type of move we get. And I would like it if it were something like this right here. These are my favorite types of plays where we displace lower, we draw a 5 or 15-minute order block, and then we sweep sell side, buy side into this order block, get the short here, and cover into these lows here. Favorite types of setups. But obviously, right now, we're only halfway there. Again, I want to see displacement if I'm to get short, and then later come back and revisit that entry long. Because right now we are setting up for a long. Because on the 1 minute at least. So on the 1 minute, if I do get long, then I'll target these highs up here. Ultimately, 50% of the range, and if we continue drawing higher, all-time highs. Let's see what YM is doing. YM is doing the exact same thing. It's actually trading higher up here now, whereas ES and NQ are up here. So I'm very mindful as to what ES, NQ, and YM are doing. Okay, so we're about to do this again. Okay. We didn't reach 50% of this range, but we did sweep this high. So the perfect signature in price would be to come down and sweep these lows down here. There's SMT at the highs and lows. I mean, there's SMT at the highs with ES and then Q. I'm going to take a short. Well, I just did. I want price to just drive through there. My stop is at this high, only because I don't want to mess around. Ooh, that's displacement. Nope, not that high. Okay, all right, so I'm out. So we swept that low, that's SMT. Now I want to see what it does up there. It's a pretty good setup. Okay. Wow. I was not expecting this type of move right off the open. Let's see what it does at 50%. That's SMT actually, between this low and this high. So I'm getting what I expected, but now that it happened right off the morning, I would like to see what it does if it gets to 50% of the range. This is actually a better one. So on the 1 minute that already happened. So now I want to see what happens up here. Let me show you that model I'm looking for. I think it's here somewhere. No, it's not this one. Oh, here it is. This one right here. And the one I'm looking for is this one. So we just swept buy side. So now I want to see sell side get swept. Technically on the 1 minute it just happened. But this is the 5 minute. And this is a swing high, swing low. So let's see. Let's go into the 5 minute here. We are drawing higher, but that's fine. Excuse me. Neither have drawn into 50% of the range though. That's actually a pretty good thing. But if it draws, then I have no, I guess you can say, then it'd be harder for me to map out a trade going into the 10 o'clock macro. But if it draws lower now after this 5-minute closes, then I would like to see a sweep. One more sweep at least. So I can get ready for a long setup. Oh, that's actually a pretty good model right here. But I'm not going to trust it just yet. If I miss this one, then there will be another one eventually. Actually, let me get rid of this. I don't need that. Okay, so both ES and NQ are now drawing lower. That's what I want to see. This is a 3-drive pattern. I think this might be the one, especially if NQ does not. Okay, we're continuing to draw lower. This is sort of displacement, but given the time, I'm not necessarily looking at it as a big deal just yet. The 15-minute. Okay, there's SMT between ES and YM. Both ES and NQ did not sweep the lows. So right now, just watching about 10 minutes into the into the macro. What I'm going to do is, because I'm starting to get antsy, I'm going to disconnect that so that I remain objective going into the 10 o'clock session. So I'm going to do some things before then. At least until 9:45. Two more minutes. All right, so I just wrote that down. Let's go ahead and connect and see where we stand now. Let's wait 30 more seconds. Okay, let's do it now. See where we stand. I also like where the hourly opened, so that gives me another indication as to where we might see the close on the hourly and the 4 hour too. Actually, no, not that one. This one. Okay. I do like where we're both at. Yep, both of them stayed above 50%. Perfect. All right. Yeah, I like that. I like how things are evolving here. SMT. YM also has SMT. Yep, YM swept the lows. ES and NQ did not. Right here. Right here. Closed above. Still waiting for one more sweep on ES and NQ. This is the swing high right here. And this would be the swing low. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over here that way. There's no confusion. I was going to use this order block if price is placed lower, but it's not. So well, let me rephrase that. It might likely not. So that's why I'm putting this one above everything else. 2 minutes. Okay, so it looks like time is lining up. So what I want to see is as soon as these lows get swept, I want to see an immediate draw higher. I do not want to see the lows get swept. And the lows are swept. Darn it. ES still hasn't. Technically, I mean, those are relative equal low. Oh, there you go. All right, never mind then. So no bias. They're both displacing lower. This would be the final area of importance for me, because this right here is extreme premium, and if it acts as support, then maybe we get the draw higher, but I'm trying to see right now if that happens or not. This order block becomes just that, an order block now. This becomes 50% of the range. So now let's see. YM is drawing higher. that's displacement, so I'm not looking to get into that just now. The only way for me to get in now is to see displacement on the way higher, and I will jump in on IOFED, institutional order for entry drill. I want to see price close above those and close about this one right here. If it closes, I'm jumping in. Yep. It's balancing price here. 10 more seconds. I want to see how price closes. I'm watching this breaker here. Okay, we're getting displacement. Okay. All right, I just took a long. I want to add 2 more here if it comes down to this area. My stop will be these lows down here. This is the 15-minute order block, but it hasn't closed below it yet? Yeah, it hasn't closed below. I want to see it close above. Okay, so now we have market structure shift here. There we go. I want to add 1 more at 31.50. Let's get that ready. There we go. All right, so I have a market order there, limit order, I mean, and just got in, and I'm going to add another one here at 26.25, and that'll be it. Looks like I'm not going to get to. So my target is these highs up here. So we'll see. The only thing I don't like is the fact that there is no SMT, but price is bouncing off a 4-hour unicorn that I had explained earlier on YM. I want to see price break through this. Where is it? This mitigation block here. ES is going to get to 50% of the range first. But I want it to continue drawing up to this highs here. Again, I'm looking for actually it's a little down here. So I'm going to take one off up here at 83. Actually, let's make it 85.50. And my stop still remains the lows right there. It closed above 50% of this range here, so we're in the clear for that. My first target is here, and my second target will be here. Actually, let's set it now. That way I don't regret it later on. All right, so all set now. It sucks that I didn't get to add the third one, but this is a clear, this is a good sign. Still no market structure shift up here though. Although I would like if price closed above this area here. Okay, so covered one. So now we have market structure shift up here. And 90 is my last one. Right here. So even if we come back into 50% of this range here, which would land us right around here. Actually, we closed above this here. So my stop would be down here now. I'm going to put my stop at break even on the last one. And that'll be it. Darn, it sucks that I didn't get to add a third. I probably should have put in 2 down here, because this is a pretty bullish sign. The fact that it merely tapped into it. We're about to close on the hourly, so both ES and NQ are closing very bullish. And again, my stop is at my entry point. One of these will retrace into 50% and the other one won't. So quite possibly it could be this one. This right here is a breaker, unicorn on ES. So if price is still bullish, then I don't expect this area to get broken through. Maybe tapped into, yes, but not broken through. There you go. Come on. Actually, it's this right here. I was just about to take a long here because I like this setup. And we're about to hit my target. but it could very well come back to sweep this low one more time. That's a turtle soup entry. So the reason why I was sold on this trade was because a rule is that a real, just give me 1 second here. We're about to hit my target here. And, oh geez, we missed it by, what, 0.75 points. Come on. Okay, so the reason, come on. Nope, not yet. So the reason why let's see here, the hourly. Oh, this is the hourly. Okay, so we're good. We're in business. Okay, so one of the rules for an inverse gap is a real inverse gap is the one that breaks consolidation, and then yeah, the one that breaks consolidation. All this area here is consolidation. So you can see here it broke it. Now it's drawing higher. Are we going to hit those highs? Guess we're not. Well, we did close above this area, so this technically becomes a unicorn now as well. I want to see how price closes up here now. And I don't want to see price break below this area now. Yep, I'm not liking that. It's still held here, so that's a good sign. But I need to see it close above this now. Technically, it's this whole area here. So yeah, let's use this. The reason why I like this setup is because maybe I don't need to cover it at 50%. Maybe it draws all the way up to this area here. Okay. All right, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to take it off. Yep, I'm going to take it off and use this standard deviation because we may come up to here, but I'm just going to hold it up to here. If it comes, sweeps through this area. I want to see, after it breaks through these highs, I want to see how it closes. And the reason why I like this one is for every breaker, this breaker has a stop run, right? So technically my stop would be below this area here. But let's see what it wants to do. Let's take a look at the 5-minute. Yeah, I like this. So I'm gonna leave it. But again, I have to see how it closes. So now these are balanced price ranges. So I want to see it after it breaks here. I want to see it completely just continue to draw higher. Oh, no, don't tell me. Depends how the minute closes here. There we go. There we go. There we go. I'm going to close it. up here. Any little tiny pullback and I'm out. Come on. All right, and I'm out. I did not like that quick. Okay, that was a pretty good trade. Um, we'll see how this one closes. Depending on how it closes will give me indication as to where price wants to go, because now you have sweep of the lows on the 5-minute, which is here, sweep of the highs, and that could be a sign of a short setup now, right? If price would have wanted to continue drawing higher, then it probably would have came all the way up here, because that's displacement. But again, it all has to deal with how this one closes. So yeah, pretty good trade. I'm happy with this one. Is there SMT at the highs? No, but there actually is between ES and NQ. But that's it for the 10 o'clock macro. Now I want to see just how it develops. Because again, there's still no SMT at either one of these areas. Yeah, there's no SMT. So what happens now? Well, it's going to continue doing what it's doing until SMT shows its face. If this low would have never been broken, then I'd be more sold into holding maybe. But since there was no SMT, the reason I cut it up here was because of that. Let's see here. I would like it if the body of this candle closed up here. And let's see here. These are my entries and exits. Entered here, here. Covered one at this high here. As soon as it broke here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There should be a 30-second here. Oh, actually, I want to see what it does here. See, the 5-minute is going to close pretty bullish now. So let me pay attention to this now. Okay, so I like this 5-minute. Beautiful. So this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see price close above the bodies of these candles. So now I can use this as an entry point. Not now, but later. The hourly closed pretty bullish as well. 15-minute closed above sell side liquidity. So if anything, I think what we'll see is we'll see SMT over here eventually. Darn, yeah, that would have been beautiful, um, but no SMT, so no play. Oh, I did take a short earlier, but that was just retarded. I didn't take what's the word? I was kind of being impulsive in regard to time. So at this point, I don't really care what happens here, as long as it doesn't break these highs here. What I want to see is I want to see a retracement. One second. Right. So what I want to see is I want to see a retracement later on. I want to see how this 15-minute closes. This 15-minute close, I want to see it close kind of like these right here, right? And then later on the 1 minute or in the 5 minute, I want to see a slow retracement. I think it was the 15th. Let me go back to that date. Is it this one? Nope. Yep, right here. It was one of these. Damn, which one was it? No, not there. Oh, here we go. Perfect. This retracement here. This retracement on the 15-minute, it looks kind of long, but compared to this side, as you can see, if you look at the 1 or 5 minute on the 16th of August, it's kind of like sideways, but drawing lower. So that's what I want to see later on to maybe catch along here above this unicorn. We completely rebalanced this whole imbalance here. We're about to close on the 5 minute. What I want to see is I want to see price close above consequent encroachment. There you go. Even close above it. That would be amazing. Got a couple more seconds. I want to see this one right here close above, maybe somewhere here, and then the next one to draw through it. All right. Okay, so let's just go over this trade real quick. Again, my bias is bullish. Expected price to draw higher. Right off the morning session, price traded into this area here. Then just started to, do its thing. Once I noticed the 5-minute get swept, I had expected the 5-minute low to get swept. Then what I wanted to see is I wanted to see price create some sort of SMT, but obviously it did not because YM also swept the lows, ES and Q swept the lows. Then what happened? Then price, as you guys are as you guys might have noticed, I did say that this right here is the daily extreme premium, and this was the last line of defense for me. Because if I'm still bullish, then it should respect this area because it has respected the 4-hour high and low here. It pretty much almost rebalanced this whole area here. Once price did that, I jumped in long one here and a second one here. I wanted to add a third, but obviously I did not get that because if I wasn't on a third, I'd probably still be in here with the stop at break even. And so pretty good trade, pretty good area here. I do expect price to come back down to maybe sweep these lows here, but I do want to see price come and completely rebalance this area. I want to see price close above this area. And as you can see here on the 5-minute, it hasn't done that yet. I've been using the 15-minute, but you can kind of notice that it hasn't done that on the 5-minute yet. Right here, I want to see price close above this area. If it does, then later on I'll be looking for a long above this unicorn here. Same thing, I want to see this unicorn pan out. But again, I have to see price close above this area first. If it doesn't, then no entry. I mean, it's already rebalanced the whole gap, but that could just mean that it's just rebalancing to maybe come back down and sweep these lows once again, right? So whatever happens between now and 1100 will, yeah, it's just whatever happens between now and 1100. Will it come back down to sweep these lows again? If it displaces, sort of like this one, then I won't expect to take a trade down here. If it just not consolidates, but if it just lingers around, then who knows? This could be the entry, but I'm unwilling to take it because this right here has nothing. Let's take a look at the 1-minute. I just don't like it. Yeah, I don't like it. Still holding here. $2 points. I'm gonna take a micro here, just cause. Well, not just cause it's based off of actual analysis, but I want to see it come back down one more time, and if I miss it, then I miss it. Because the highs are yet to have been swept. That's why. And though the highs have relative equal highs, this high and there's another high up here, they're relatively equal. So I'm gonna get it here. All right. No. Damn. Did not get to add. Son of a biscuit. Come on, a little lower. I want to get it here. Come on, just a little lower. There we go. I probably should have had my my buy 4.50. All right, so I have my buy limit order there. Let's see if I get. I think that might have been it. Yep, that was it. Yep, I think that was it. Okay. All right, I'm gonna stay out of it. I'm gonna stay out of it because again, I'm not sure if it comes down here because even though this is a unicorn, there is no displacement. There's no displacement here. There's no gap. So that doesn't tell me anything. If there was a gap here, then I'd be more comfortable taking that long. It could still work out, but again, what I want to see is I want to see price close above this area. And if it does, then I'll be looking for a long later on after I get some SMT, because if we didn't get it here, then we're most likely going to get it over here on the 15-minute. This could be another possible entry, but it's outside the macro. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. So pretty good trade, pretty good entry, pretty good executions. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you tomorrow.